I'm Melina Bartels. I'm a junior at Staten Island Academy, and this year in our school when you're a junior you can first sign up for AP classes. So I signed up for AP Chemistry as one of my classes, and as most of you probably know if you're a chemist, there's a lot of information, statistics, lots of things you have to memorize, and I was struggling with all of these facts. So I tried to find a more organized way where I could get all of these together. So I turned to an iPhone application called the Chemical Touch. Essentially what the Touch is you can see on the screen now, it's a color-coded periodic table. It gives you all different information, such as the mass of each element, density, melting point, boiling point, electronegativity. And then if you select an element and hit this button over here, it will bring you to a screen that looks like this. It's a lot more specific. It helps you with the general properties. This is just the basic stuff. Then ionization energies, common isotopes, and percent abundance of those isotopes. However, my experience with apps alone obviously can't account for most of the student body. So I tagged some questions onto Selena's survey with Brooke, and we asked 3 questions.
So I want to know which high school students, if they use applications to help them with their studies, and right now only about 50, there was a split. So half of them did use applications and then some of them did not.
Then our next question was, students who were or were not overwhelmed by a computer application that had too much data on it. A lot of students were overwhelmed. I personally think more information is more useful, but I can understand if you want something more simple or specialized. And then the last survey was number of students who would be more inclined to use a computer application that was visually pleasing or very informative.
So this is kind of different than Selena's because she said that they wanted ones that are more informative and less flashy. Both the applications, when using them to help with homework, they wanted more visual than more information.
Yeah.
So like Melina, this was the first year I started using Apple applications to help me with my homework and my studies. And one of the classes that I had trouble with was physics and understanding the concepts of waves, specifically transverse and longitudinal. So I found this application on the Apple website called Physics Waves, and it's actually a really simple application. It just shows, when you click on it, this is the main screen, and it just shows transverse, longitudinal, and beats. And basically, if you click on one of the different types of waves, it gives you this graph. And what you can do is it shows 2 different waves, and you could change the amplitudes and frequencies, tensions, mass, and length. And this really helped me when I was doing homework and studying, because I saw visually how, if I moved amplitudes and I would change frequency, how the waves would change. And it just helped me a lot visually. And also, we don't have a screenshot of it, but there's another part of this application where it'll show when you add the 2 waves, what it will look like. So this was just a really simple application that I thought helped me. And if anyone's a teacher, I would suggest telling your students to look into Apple applications. I think there's like 500 educational ones on their website. And anyone who's scientific and who works online to keep creating applications like these, because I find them extremely helpful.
It's a very good way to simply organize information. Yes?
I have a question for you, because I don't use an iPhone, so I'm not really familiar with the apps. Was there any sort of accuracy checking on these applications? Like when you go to download one, does it say anything about who wrote it or where the data come from or whether someone has checked it to make sure the information is valid and all that kind of stuff?
Usually underneath all of the applications, they have a comment section where users respond to it and they say what they thought of it. So I usually base it off of that, and then there's also a rating system with the number of stars.
Yeah, they're quality ratings.
So you're more likely to pick one if it's got a high rating.
That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.